Coming up on this week's episode, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University president salutes space-bound graduates. Unvaccinated employees finally got their vaccine, and pilots at American Airlines plan protest. Welcome to Airborne-Flight Training, a weekly program dedicated to all things flight training, from student pilots taking their very first flights to the new commercial pilot getting ready to take on their first flying gigs, as well as the amazing industry built around all of this. No segment is more important to the growth of the aviation world than the flight training community. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Kimberly Kay. SpaceX's Inspiration 4 has two Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University graduates on board. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University President P. Barry Hutler sent his best wishes to the alumni, Isaacman and Chris Sembrowski. Everyone at Embry-Riddle is excited about the mission and proud of our Eagles, Jared and Chris, Butler said. Through their participation in this mission, they are also raising funds for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. In doing so, they are exemplifying Eagle values, which call on us to be of service to each other. We wish the whole Inspiration 4 crew a very safe and successful mission. We thank them for being a source of inspiration to students who may wish to follow in their footsteps. Isaacman graduated from Embry-Riddle's worldwide campus in 2011 and sponsored the Inspiration 4 mission. He is founder of Shift 4, a company that provides payment processes services. Sembrowski is a 2007 Embry-Riddle graduate who works for Lockheed Martin. He and Isaacman were joined by scientist and educator Dr. Cyan Proctor, who was selected after winning an entrepreneurship competition and represents prosperity. Representing Hope is Haley Arsenault, a physician assistant at St. Jude as well as a former patient there. After the break, Cargojet fires 23 Canadian pilots. I'll tell you why after these messages.
Aviation Safety Resources is disrupting the market for aircraft emergency parachute recovery systems. ASR systems are smaller, lighter weight, and offer longer repack cycles than similar products available in the current market. ASR has a recovery system available for every type of aircraft: sport, experimental, light sport, general aviation, urban air mobility, vertical takeoff and landing, electric propulsion, and unmanned aerial systems. Find the right product for your aircraft at aviationsafetyresources.com.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
At Diamond Aircraft, innovation is in our DNA. Whether you're taking to the skies for training or business travel, every aircraft in Diamond's lineup features innovative technology, an industry-leading safety record, superior performance and efficiency, and a comfortable flying experience. No other company has pioneered as many aviation firsts, achieved more milestones, or received the same amount of industry praise as Diamond. Discover why Diamond Aircraft is one of the most trusted manufacturers in aviation at diamondaircraft.com.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the flight training industry, we're going to be summarizing some shorter, interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Cargojet has terminated the employment of 23 pilots despite the need for more pilots at that airline. Canada's two largest pilot groups, ALPA and Air Canada Pilots Association, are not happy with the decision. ACPA says the majority of the 23 terminated pilots were among 600 pilots furloughed by Air Canada as a result of COVID impacts. None of these pilots have been formally recalled by the airline. FAA Drone Safety Awareness Week is underway. Safety integrating drones into the national airspace system is a key priority for the Federal Aviation Administration, and their third annual Drone Safety Awareness Week helps ensure drone operators understand that they are pilots who must fly safely. This week also features drone pilots, recreational flyers, and experts discussing their commitment to safety and sharing tips and information. Several organizations and FAA safety team volunteers are hosting virtual events to engage and educate the public about drone safety. Simaero wins contract with Air and Space Force. Simaero has won the contract to train and maintain skills of pilots of Airbus A330 type aircraft for the French Air and Space Force. The pilots are trained for the benefit of the 31st Strategic Air Transport and Refueling Squadron operating the Airbus A330 MRTT Phoenix based in Istres. Space Day returns to EAA Aviation Museum Saturday, October 9th with the theme Women in Space. Space Day synchronizes EAA's participation in World Space Week and will take place from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m., with all activities included in the museum admission price for that day. Nicole Scott, veteran NASA astronaut, is the feature speaker for the event. She participated in space shuttle flights from 2009 until 2011 and lived more than 100 days aboard the International Space Station. Well, that does it for today's trip around the patch. Now, as we turn to the rest of the news, after Delta Airlines made an announcement last week that there would be a $200 monthly surcharge on its health plan for those employees who did not receive the vaccine, about 4,000 employees got the vaccine. During a media briefing with the Infectious Disease Society of America, Henry Ting said almost 20% of the 20,000 unvaccinated Delta employees moved towards vaccination after CEO Ed Bastian announced the new surcharge policy on August 25th. The new surcharge policy takes place on November 1st, and the number of vaccinated employees has climbed to 78% from 74% before the announcement. Ting said the increase was a huge number when recognizing that 20,000 people were at first in opposition to receive the vaccination. The last 4% is very different from the first 4%, he said. Delta's new policy, which was instated last month, requires all unvaccinated employees to get tested for COVID-19 every week and wear a mask in indoor settings. During the announcement of that new policy is when employees learned of the health insurance surcharge, which followed the new regulations from the FDA, approving the Pfizer biotech vaccine. After these messages, American Airlines pilots are planning a protest. I'll tell you why after the break.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
If it looks good, it usually flies good. The Bristol series of aircraft is proof of that. Furthering their legacy of safety and efficiency, Bristol is proud to feature the Rotax 915 IS Turbo in the current lineup of aircraft. The 915 IS Turbo power plant offers more power than ever before in a light sport aircraft. Learn more about Bristol at www.sportflyingusa.com.
Welcome back. Pilots at American Airlines are planning to protest. The pilots are citing fatigue that has been caused by the company's mismanagement. How this will affect passengers remains to be seen. The Allied Pilots Association says there will be protests by pilots, with the first scheduled on October 19th at the company airports in Dallas, Miami, and elsewhere. As pilots, our job is to transport our passengers as safely and reliably as possible, while American Airlines management's job is to support these efforts. Unfortunately, management has repeatedly demonstrated its inability to run a reliable airline and has failed to give us the tools we need to do our jobs. The AAPA, which represents all 13,400 American airline pilots, said. APA says that pilots have not been given enough time to eat during their shifts and forced to work on days off. While APA pilots have suffered through record numbers of reassignments and have filed a record number of fatigue reports, management continues to willfully violate our contract, creating uncertainty for pilots and passengers, the organization wrote. American Airlines Vice President of Flight Chip Long shared remarks. We had a challenging stretch in June due to the weather, vendor staffing, and temporary pilot training challenges that may have touched you or your schedule, Long wrote in a memo. That does it for our show today. I'm your host, Kimberly Kay. You can catch episodes of Airborne on Roku and Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne in the directory. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.